Let me read to you just one part of this blog written by a black person on Alternet about Barack Obama. He talks about CPAC is a carnival and a road show for reactionary conservatives. It is only fitting in the great tradition of the freak show, the human zoo, the boardwalk, and the great midway world fairs of the 19th and 20th centuries that there is a Borneo man, a Venus Hottentot, or a tribe of cannibals from deepest, darkest Africa for the CPAC and the white conservative imagination. Herman Cain and his black and brown kin are that featured attraction. The monkey in the window. Wow. Okay, back in a moment. We have a blogger on a liberal blog, Alternet. He goes by the name of Chauncey De Vega, and he is described as just a liberal black blogger. He's upset with Herman Cain. He's upset with Herman Cain because of Herman Cain's speech before CPAC, and that Herman Cain is a conservative. And that just ain't right. So Herman Cain is to be called every name in the book. They called you a monkey, Herman. You're the monkey in the window.
Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last.
Okay, now let me ask you something.
Yes.
Are you a runaway slave?
If you consider leaving the Democrat plantation, yes.
Okay, now what I said was, first, you tell me if I'm wrong. During the days of slavery in this country, some slaves were either so loyal to or so fearful of their masters that they would actually participate in hunting down and returning runaway slaves.
That is true, because they wanted to endear themselves to their masters by helping to go and track down those runaway slaves. You're absolutely right.
And that is exactly what is happening to you with this, whoever this Chauncey De Vega had, that's a fake name, that he is tracking down and trying to bring back or destroy a runaway slave to ingratiate himself to his masters.
Exactly, and his masters are the liberals and the Democrats. But here's something else that's at play here, Neal.
Yeah.
You know, I have been on WSB for 5 years, 2 years substituting for you, 3 years with a nighttime radio show, 3 hours a night for 3 years, and I didn't get this type of vicious attack. I got a little of it, but here's why.
Well, your listeners knew you. This guy doesn't know you.
Whoever that person who won't identify, they don't know me. But here's the thing: they see me as a threat to Barack Obama. You know, when I first saw that article, you know, it just reminded me that, you know what, this is all the left has, and that is what I call shifting the subject, ignoring the facts, and name-calling. That's all it is. It is name-calling on steroids. But here's the good news, Neal, which is why I'm encouraged. People with some brains or an ounce of common sense, they're going to basically detest that kind of stuff. And so, like, you know, Niger Ennis of CORE, Council on Racial Equality, that organization really is about, you know, racial equality, unlike some of those others out there that pretend to be about racial equality. But Niger wrote a nice follow-up at the end of that poisonous name-calling article, and Andrew Breitbart also, you know, spoke out against it and this sort of thing. But see, the thing about it is, people who know me, they are the ones who basically set the record straight, like you have, and I do appreciate that.
Well, now, Herman, let's be really honest about this. This guy did you a favor.
Yes.
I mean, you are getting some real coverage over there. That there are people today that know about Herman Cain that would not have known about Herman Cain today if this guy hadn't called you the monkey in the window and a black minstrel and exposing your black skin to please your white masters. And This guy got you some people out there.
He did. In fact, I just talked to one of the guys that works for me. He said that we've got more hits at HermanCain.com. HermanCain.com. You
want to repeat that again?
HermanCain.com. Cain like in the Bible, but I didn't kill anybody
yet.
But let me tell you, you're right. It has caused some people to say, "Who is this Herman Cain guy?"
Yeah.
That they obviously feel threatened by. That's what it is. They feel threatened by that.
Oh, I mean, listen, just like the slave masters felt threatened when any slave made a successful escape, because what happens? It might put some ideas into the minds, into the heads of the other slaves. You are aware of the history of government education in this country, that in the early during the Industrial Revolution, when we're going from agrarian to industrial, you are aware that the people that set up our school system had that same thought process.
Yeah.
We need to educate them enough that they can read instruction manuals, but not well enough that they can think rationally and pose a threat to our power.
No, they didn't want them smart enough to read the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution. You're absolutely right.
Federalist Papers, any of that.
But let me make a couple of other corrections. First of all, I refer to myself as an American Black Conservative, an ABC. I don't use the hyphenated African American because, yes, my ancestry goes all the way back to Africa, but I know more about my ancestry right here in the good old United States of America.
Right, exactly.
So I'm an ABC, an American Black Conservative.
But you know what? I would dare say, Herman, that I can't tell you what percentage of Black Americans are tired with the hyphenated stuff, but I'm guessing it could well be a majority.
I think that it is. And here's another fact, Neal, just based upon the calls that I got on my radio show and when I was substituting for you, I believe that at least 40% of Black Americans are probably conservative. When the Republicans put up a good candidate, I believe that they're going to get 40% of the black vote. All of this crap about talking about Obama's going to get 95% of the black vote and the Democrats are going to get 95% of the black vote. There are a lot of black people out there who can think for themselves, and they may not be as open with it as I am. They may not be as outspoken as I am. But Neal, I know that they are out there. They are out there. I don't let name calling bother me because that's all the liberals have. They have no facts, no logic. It's all name calling. It's all distortion. It's all shift the subject. I mean, this whole thing about the Obama budget is ridiculous.
Well, the website here, Herman, they said most of the consternation came from right-wing supporters of Cain who have focused on the language of his post and not the substance of his claim. That came from Alternate. Now, if you reverse this, if you have a conservative using these derogatory terms to refer to a black person like monkey in the window or minstrel, if a conservative is doing it, then guess what? Alternate is going to be out there focusing on the language of the post and not the substance of the claims. They are accusing your conservative supporters of doing exactly what they do 24/7.
Which is an absolute lie. Just like they have tried to label the Tea Party movement, the citizens movement, they tried to label it as racist. That is the furthest thing from the truth. They've never even been to a Tea Party.
It's all they have.
That's all they have is name calling. That's all they have. I have escaped from the plantation, but it didn't just happen when I decided to run for president. I left the plantation about 30 years ago.
And good riddance to the plantation. Now, Herman, when you're out there in Phoenix, which is just a wonderful area of the country, throw your weight behind Joe Arpaio. He is leading in the polls in Arizona to replace John Kyle.
I think that's fantastic. I love Joe Arpaio, and I'm going to do just that because this is another person who stands by what he believes in. And, Neal, that's what people are looking for. They are looking for people who do what they say and say what they do. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of that. But now I'm going to get behind Joe Arpaio.
Good for you. Okay, Herman.
Neal, as always, my friend, thanks a lot. And remember, I'm free at last, and I ain't going back.